This is the Hardball Gets AFL show. My name's Nick Rynne, joined by Xavier Ellis and Ryan Daniels. Gentlemen, what's going on?
We're excited. We've got a new little studio here.
Rebuilt us out.
A little bit of a slow start to get going.
Yeah.
That's twice in 24 hours we've had a slow start to get going. Yesterday in the
Yes.
football, Rhino was trying to tell a story in the footy.
It's a good one too.
About being in Bali, etc. We'll get to that.
Yep.
But whoever was shooting it out of Albury or whatever, because they run it past different stations, how it works. We're going into ads. We'd gone into songs, and Rhino's still trying to tell his story over the top of everything. And I was like, is anyone going to say anything here? And I said, look, just stop talking. Go to the ads. I can't hear. I can't understand. And away we went.
As you know, when you're going, you need to wait for somebody to tell you in your ear to
Yeah.
say, okay, we're on an ad, stop.
Well, you didn't need me to say
I
it.
had zero guidance.
Well, I was the leader.
You were not the one I needed.
I was the leader calling the shots.
I was like,
EP.
because the other part of it is too, when you're on air, you don't know what other people are hearing. The public might not be hearing any of the ads and the songs. You can't just stop halfway.
No, you can.
Yeah.
You can. You've had enough.
You probably should have. Back from Bali.
We done
Just
all
shaved.
Yeah.
You should have seen the
Saw
beard.
that. Oh, he did say, I saw you, was it Friday?
Yes.
Said, there's some grey patches. I was like, mate, I think there's brown patches in the grey.
There's a lot of grey.
It was
In
a
the
lot
beard,
of
yeah.
grey.
A lot of grey in the beard. Yeah.
You're silver fox on the sides.
Yeah. Give me 2 years, it'll be all.
Are we
all
thinking
grey.
that Seven tap you and say, hey, mate, run a rinse through or no?
No, I went the other way. So
Just cop it.
So what was
Age gracefully.
No, because it was just the sides, and then the top was quite dark.
Yeah.
When I went on air, it looked quite weird, right? So then the makeup lady started colouring the sides a bit, just with a little bit of a tinter thing, not a rinse.
Well, just a little bit of
I had no
mascara
say.
or something.
I had no say.
I had
It's
no
such
say.
an easy, it's such a cop out.
And then one day they just decided, no, we're not doing it anymore. I said, well, what's the go there? And they said, Ray wants you to look older, more distinguished.
Is that right?
So now there's no grey. There's
They're
no rinse.
really playing up that older demo now. They're trying to age you by 10 years.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter if I want one or not. I'm staying with the greys.
You'll have Rick and Sue deliver a 50th birthday cake this year. Ryan's 50. He's in the demo we're after.
Just aged. I lost 10 years of my life.
Big week for you.
Big week.
Big week.
Disappointing.
Well, it's huge because you know what? I've been here for 11 years.
Yeah.
And there has not been one single football story in 11 years. None, really. Like
Nothing.
You go to Bali. to Bali. You're eating a bit of bloody satay chicken with a bit of peanut sauce. You're having a little bintang. You're in your silly little villa with 83 families.
Yeah.
And the phone bings. And you see Mitch Cleary from Melbourne. Old Clearzo. He's broken the Adam Simpson story. You must have spat your bintang in the bloody pool.
So he didn't get me by much, Mitch. I
minute?
reckon he beat me by a minute.
Yeah, that's
I think it
fine.
was
That's
about
all
a
you
minute.
need.
I know. It's a minute's a minute. A minute's might as well be 10
I
hours.
was going to say, if he got it by a minute, I could have got it in a minute.
Yeah.
Just copy and paste it.
Well, that's not what happened.
Pretty much. He got the story and then you all followed him.
That's not what happened. But, so I'll run you through it. So I kind of...
Any rookies do their hamstrings this week we're going to talk about or tweet about?
So I kind of had a vibe, like we all did,
Yeah.
the week before.
That's where great stories begin.
Like it was sort of all there, and then exactly with the vibe. And then it got to Monday, and then the noise started getting louder. And Tuesday was the day it happened, right? And Tuesday I kind of thought, this could, I saw
Black
Goss
Tuesday, they call
mention
it.
the fact
Black
that there was a meeting, a board meeting.
Yeah.
You know, not an
The board meeting
emergency
was
one.
scheduled, but
it was
yeah.
just perfect timing, coincidence. I thought, here we go. This is going to happen here. So luckily, I had a fairly quiet morning.
Your arch rival was onto it too, by the way.
Who? I don't have an arch rival.
TM.
Oh, who's his arch rival, Nick?
TM,
Look at
trademarks.
this.
I don't
Look
have
at
an
this.
arch rival.
You have an arch rival.
This is what where Mitch beat you by a minute. This guy who's a couple of minutes behind. So
Yeah.
you got one up on Tom Morris.
Well, Tom Morris. So was he texting you? Was he?
I know. I just know he was sniffing.
He would have
The
been
old
texting
Melbourne
you.
grammar all over his network was firing.
All I know.
You know, mate, and then there's probably some code word that they have.
Yeah.
You know, like they're just
Has the
some
eagle
elite
landed?
code word.
Has the eagle
Henry's
flown
on
the
the
nest?
nets. No. I do enjoy it. There's 9 rounds of footy a week.
Yeah.
And then there's
9
UV
games.
Tom Morris.
It's not
9 games. And then there's you and Tom who have a bit of back and forth, and then you pretend you're mates, and you're not.
It's not you.
You fucking hate him, and he hates you.
Have fabricated. You have manifested this little
The
fight that doesn't
9v7,
exist.
everything.
Yeah,
mate.
100%.
It
It's all
doesn't
loaded
exist.
up.
Yeah.
It's existed since the moment he dipped his toe over
It
the
dipped
nullarbor,
as soon as he
mate.
dipped his toe here.
Well, you don't
touched
come
base
over
at
this side
Eucla.
of the country.
Well-
You've got 10 teams there, Tom.
I'll tell you, Mitch Cleary did it. He won.
Mitch is allowed. It's okay.
He's a 7. It's
I
a
like
team
Mitch.
thing. Team sport.
Oh.
Kidding.
I do have to ask,
Kidding.
what about family pressure? Sitting there in your Bali holiday,
No,
picking up your phone and tweeting.
I lucked into it because
left for 1 week.
no, that Tuesday.
Why would you leave in footy season? There's only 23 weeks.
I like how you think that I had any say in this.
Well, who had to say?
Who do you reckon runs the family? Not
Yeah,
me.
no, I get that, but you just say, hey, we hold off here for a week,
Well,
and I give you 2 weeks at the end.
Okay.
Or you follow my routine
Well,
where
this
the boys
is-
reckon
yeah.
I need to be running a university course on how to send the kids
Yes.
and wife away for a week or
Oh,
two,
yeah.
and
Now,
you
this
stay.
is what I wanted to bring up because I had to go. It was.
You don't have to. You never have to.
Yes,
Sometimes
but
you have
how
to.
do you do this? Because I reckon 15 times a year you stay
No,
here.
I'm going to get 4.
At
Four.
least it feels
Four.
like every second
Yeah,
week.
there's been a big patch
Down
recently.
south, in Broome, over in Melbourne.
Yeah.
You're
They
separate.
reckon I'm the professor.
Either that or
Call
she's
me
got,
the professor.
Either that or Em's got a second family and you're in real trouble.
No, she takes the boys, so I'm
yeah.
safe.
Well, yeah, maybe they've got a step.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
jeez.
Good luck.
No, the key is too, and Selb always pulls me up on it, my mate. Em often will put up a little Instagram story of the kids playing down south or
Right.
a pool in Broome, and I get tagged in it. So then I just reshare it onto mine.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
And
you're
missing them.
So it
no,
looks
no,
like
no,
you're
no.
there.
Well, it looks like I'm there.
Oh.
People go, oh, what a dad. How's he do it? Breakfast radio, and he's gone down south, and he's driving. Like, unbelievable.
Wish I could be more like Zave.
Yeah, mate, that professor.
Father figure.
And then you got some poor bloke trying to do that. It's impossible.
That's not important. It's never impossible.
How does the conversation go with Em though? So we'll run a scenario, right?
Yeah.
I'm Em.
Yeah.
You're you.
Mhm.
Dave, can you come to Broome in a month? I'm really keen to get up there, see my brother.
So it goes every year.
yeah,
it happens
really.
at the
No,
same time.
really.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
this is an impromptu. I'm really keen to get up
No,
there.
well,
and
the one that the first one, the Broome 10-dayer,
Yeah.
is the key is play the victim, always.
you want to go, but you can't.
Why
Work
would you
and
book
government.
it a week before holidays? Like, it's outrageous. Don't call it a family holiday. I can't come. Why would you book it this week?
Immediately get on the
Victim.
defence.
You're the victim.
Yeah.
I like
And
it.
then all of a sudden, she feels like she has to tag you in everything.
Okay.
And I'm sitting back. I've started smoking ciggies. Bloody, I'm on bloody hard whiskey. And
Are
then
you- is there a chance that could backfire? And she goes, "You're right. I've changed the dates."
We're not going.
no, then you go. I don't believe it. Tim's got me on. There's that Broome trip that I can't come to every year,
Right.
and I don't let her call it a
That's
family
in the
trip.
calendar now.
Yep.
As a
Okay.
you don't go trip. So
No,
you've got
don't
that
go.
one locked in.
Can't go. I have 2 weeks off radio the week after.
Yeah.
The week after.
You think she might not want you to come? Is
Yeah,
that-
this might be part of it. We're going all
Are you
go.
starting to?
Oh no,
'cause
she
she's-
knows that like sitting by a pool's not my style.
No.
Yeah, okay.
And that if I'm not sitting by the pool, I'm sitting in a pub, and that doesn't work well for anyone. When I come home after 15 pints.
There's some lessons to be learned.
You've just won the wet t-shirt contest at that
Yeah,
Broome pub.
100%. I'm nude sliding through an oil-filled up tub. Like, anyway, so yeah.
Family times.
Yeah, lessons learned.
But I still do a lot of travelling with the kids.
Yeah.
And I am the primary carer.
You keep saying that. Yeah.
Not Em hasn't worked for 18 weeks, so that's I am losing the tag of primary care.
Yeah.
She's having surgery tomorrow. She'll be pumped. I'm telling people this. Having her front tooth permanently removed and her side tooth permanently removed. She had a tooth missing as a youngster or whatever, and they had to do one of those implants.
Oh, yeah.
And then-
And the implant got infected and spread through a gum.
Really?
Yikes.
A year without 2 teeth there.
She's had no teeth for 2 years.
No, it starts tomorrow.
But
Oh,
you get the plate. They give you the plate with a fake tooth.
Yeah, but you can't have it for 10 days.
Something like that.
so
you
for 10
can't wear it
days,
while you're
she's
eating.
Gonna,
Can't wear it while you eat.
Yeah, I
she's
used
going
to.
to be toothless.
Yeah.
When I used to have,
Yeah.
when I lost my four front teeth because you couldn't.
Have you
wear
got
it
a
while you're
screw?
eating.
Have you got the
Oh,
screws?
screw-ins, yeah.
Yeah. So and you can't like. I pay maybe 6,000 a year in health insurance.
Oh, you can't.
Guess how much is claimable?
Zero.
Bugger all.
None.
How much
Yeah.
does it cost you?
How much do you reckon?
Okay,
for
let's-
two screws.
I'll,
So
I will do
mine are
numbers
about
each
30.
and we'll see who's close. You're going
Mine
30.
were about 30 all up.
That's high. I'll say 20.
Yeah, 28.
Yeah.
Oh,
Cash.
Yeah.
oh.
Cash.
It's not
No,
fun.
so I said it's got to come out of your super because you can do that with dental stuff.
Oh.
Can you?
Yeah, for teeth you can do take out super.
Yeah, right. So the fact that she's toothless for the next 10 days, you know how in every
Well, you're working for me. You don't know that yet.
I know. I just got an email. You know how in every relationship there's a reacher and there's a settler.
Yeah.
It's pivoting the next 10
I was
days.
going to say the next 10 days you're the settler, my friend. You're in the top spot because she's got
I'm
no
a
teeth.
bloody hunk.
She's got no teeth.
I'm going to tell you, lucky to have me.
Yeah, well, not only for 10 days. So.
As the Triple M callers always ring up. So there was this Sheila. Mate, the Sheilas will be all over me. You should say it every time. Oh, there are a couple of Sheilas. You're like, oh, we're still using the word Sheila around town.
You guys are going to go
I think
out
we
and
are.
have a look at Xavier, and he's just like, this lady's clearly had a past of addiction.
Yeah,
or something, and he's just turned it around.
So, kids, that's why you don't do meth. Your teeth fall out.
So bumped into Nick the other day, as he mentioned, on Friday. We're at the what's it called? The
Winter Fest?
Winter Fest.
I went there last year. Is
kept getting the name
Channel
wrong.
7 sponsor it?
You're the West. Yes,
we're
the West.
involved somehow.
That's how we got
Yeah.
the free tickets.
Fantastic event. Yeah, we didn't pay for it. No. But I bumped into Nick, and then I saw him on the ice skating rink.
Yeah.
And
I'm 12
Mate,
months
chopping
earlier
it
was
up.
out there.
Yeah. And he was moving pretty well,
Mate,
considering
Aussie.
what we saw at Snezza.
No, I don't think he was.
I'm comparing it to the Snezza
Mate, I had to
video.
bend over like with a little penguin helping a 5-year-old skate around.
Snazzy, you looked like you had learning difficulties.
No, you wait, mate.
Did you see the video of an 8-year-old that flew past him like that?
Yeah, mate. I worry for you, Nick. I think you're more
Mate,
of
I'm
a
good on the
jacket.
ice.
Oh,
Nah, I'm good on the ice. You wait. I was ready to let rip.
If he had
Gordon
gone down,
Bombay.
if he had gone down, I don't know if he was getting back up.
Oh.
I was
That
waiting
is
for it.
also
That's a problem.
That's a problem. That
Yeah.
probably would. I wouldn't be getting back up easily.
Yeah.
But when I sent through, I said Gordon Bombay. Do you know that reference?
Nah.
You don't know the Gordon Bombay?
No,
reference?
no. I'm thinking Mighty Ducks or something.
It is Mighty
Oh,
Ducks.
Mighty
Yeah,
Ducks.
he's the coach of Mighty Ducks.
Yeah, no,
I was like, surely you had to get that one.
I thought Bombay was a player. No, I'm thinking Banks.
Yeah, Banks, Adam Banks.
Yeah, I'm thinking Banks. But
Cake
I'm
eater.
on the same page.
Okay, it's good.
Other than you
I
just-
always, when I throw out a movie that everyone has seen, I now don't know.
but
I second guess
Yeah,
myself.
but the stupid Survivor thing you did 2 weeks. What the hell
How
was
does not
that?
everybody see Survivor?
No.
Mate, we had good feedback from
So
that.
Survivor being the TV series or is it a
The
movie?
TV series.
I don't know.
Who watches that?
Nobody.
Have you not watched
Is it-
Survivor?
is it on Channel
No,
7?
it's not on
No, it's
Channel
on
7.
Who watches that?
I love how you check
Everybody-
after the
Yeah,
fact
I
that
know.
it's on.
Everybody's watching the what's the Dream Home?
Dream Home.
Dream Home.
No, I'm watching Cuzzy. We had Cuzzy in today.
Dancing
actually.
with
I heard,
Dancing.
yeah,
Did ya?
don't.
I was there. I didn't see him.
Bad luck.
It's not because he's got a lot of heat, mate. It's not a good time to take a week off in Bali.
Oh, I tell you,
Yeah,
what-
empty desk.
Tell you what would have topped my week if Cuzzy wrote the Simpsons story. I would have just packed your desk up and sent you.
Because he's letting the greys grow through as well. So
He doesn't have grace.
No, he wouldn't have a grey.
Very handsome man.
All right, football stuff. Dave, why don't you go, mate?
All right, Sydney Swans I'll start with. 79-point victors over the North Melbourne Football Club. I think that was a good win in the end because North were in reasonable touch. Could not have gone any better for the Sydney Swans. Heaney cops the week. Out you go, Isaac.
Oh, yes.
Who comes in late?
Parker.
Luke Parker.
Luke Parker comes in late. It's round 17 just done. He served his suspension. The Sydney Swans are still on top, but were slightly out of form. Luke Parker, the club champions, just sitting there, just waiting for an opportunity. Played 47 minutes, had 13 disposals and kicked 2 goals.
He's not bad.
So now he's in, and he's not out.
Yeah.
And Callum
that was-
Mills came in too.
And Mills came in, and he played 78 minutes. And he's now in.
Yep.
So if you're a fringe player at Sydney who you get patted on the back because they're in good form
Thanks
for the
very
first
much.
15 weeks,
You're out.
Wixie gone. They'll keep falling because the key players are back. They've massaged them in. They got a bit lucky with the and I would have said unlucky with the Heaney suspension. Opened the door for Luke Parker.
Your Roberts, your Campbells, who have had okay years.
Yeah, but they're not Luke Parker.
No, they're not.
No,
and
they're not Luke Parker
and
and
as you
Callum
say,
Mills.
they're under the pump now.
Well, I'll
Because
tell you who's under the pump.
who?
And I reckon I'm seeing. I'm getting deja vu.
Oh no,
I reckon Taylor Adams is going to.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I reckon he's going to be the one who falls out.
Well, we were
He's
talking
sub
about that
2
at the
weeks
start of
ago?
the year.
So he's been sub a bit, I
Yeah.
think, late, and he
weeks
got.
We
Did he get the vest on the weekend?
No, McInerney got hurt.
Oh, he
so-
hurt himself. Yeah, that's right.
But this, we were talking about before he came in when he was injured, like how's he going to get in? And he kind of then did,
Yeah.
and he was fine. But yeah, you don't see him holding it.
No,
long term,
I think
eh?
he's the one that's probably going to make way, which would be interesting because
The whole point of going there was.
well, it was
Yeah.
all flowers and whatnot after round 8 and playing that half forward, and Sydney were on
but
top.
I always think when these veterans they leave a team that they just can't quite get into, and then go to another good team. I'm like, you're going to run into the same problem.
Yeah, go to North.
Well, I did see Luke Ball in a photo over the weekend, and he's a good example of a good player that went to a good club. And
That's true.
couldn't play at St Kilda, played at Collingwood, won the flag.
Yeah, that's
Not
true.
bad.
It does happen.
That was a good reference, wasn't it?
That's very good.
That was,
Yeah,
we like
deep in
it.
the bag. I'm going to go to Melbourne. Trent Rivers, the midfielder.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
real.
it's actually working.
Started well.
29 touches 2 weeks in a row, 7 clearances, then 8 clearances. I love the kid. I'm a big fan of the kid. I think he's West Australian.
When do you
boy.
reckon the articles start?
About coming
Coming
home?
home.
No, he
West
signed
Coast
last
offer.
year. I think they locked him in 5 years, I think, from memory. I'd have to check
Jeez.
that. But I remember thinking, oh, geez, that's a good deal for Trent Rivers.
But everyone signs 5 years these days.
Yeah,
5
true.
years
That's
is a new
true.
3, isn't it?
Very good mates with Chad Warner. In fact,
Same
when,
East Fremantle team.
yeah, well, we do the draft stories every
Jackson.
year. They asked to do it together.
Right.
That's how tight they were.
So
So
what-
we spent
so
the day with Trent and
Warner,
Chad out
Rivers-
out in Leeming, I think it was.
Jackson was in that team.
Jackson and Sharp.
Yep, we did a story with them because I reckon it was Chad's old man has like a tree lopping business. And
Yeah,
they were
right.
both working
Oh,
for
they're
him.
on the trees, were
So
they?
we've got them both just getting the trees into the back of the chipper in the
Yeah,
back.
nice.
These shots are gold. In 10 years when they're both stars, which
Yeah.
they're heading to that space now, it's like you've got them as skinny, pimply 17-year-olds just working this
Well, that's why I always
job
talk
on the
about like
side.
the photo on day one with all these stars that come in when you're trying to rebuild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've all got pimples, little virgins, like just not much happening. And then you fast forward 8 years, they've got actual short back
Specimen.
and sides,
keep
wedding
bringing it back
rings
in.
on, rigs,
Yeah.
cash.
There's
It
that
is
Nat
great.
Fife one where he looks about 63 kilos.
Yeah.
He looks like
Yeah.
a little dweeb, and then
Then
fast
he-
forward
then here
5
he
years.
is.
It's
Hello.
also the snapshot of the haircuts at the time.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
it's got
Someone's
that.
got a shell necklace on, like all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, the cargo shorts.
Yeah, it's
Hey,
coming back
The
now.
cargo shorts are back.
The D's, though, we'll get to Essendon at some stage.
Yeah.
But are they a threat to the
No,
eight? I
I
know
don't
they're
think
in
so.
that mark. They're in it. I think they're in the
Mate,
eight,
they
aren't
beat
they?
us-
They're in the
they-
eight,
all
they're
they
just
did
in.
was beat a second-rate team.
Oh, jeez, he's gone early. You don't even have Essendon this week, and you're still getting a dig.
Actually, you couldn't do the podcast last week,
No.
but you slithered your way on another podcast and found time to do
Oh,
it.
Did I?
Yes.
Oh. Yeah, right. Oh, I did. Yes, I
Yes.
did on the Thursday night. Yes.
Yes.
AFL ratings with Pete just jumped on there, and
jeez.
What are you doing?
it's been going for years.
What have you been calling
Turn
in
up
from?
to your own. Turn up to the one you've.
Well, it was a Thursday. If you'd done it on the Thursday, I would have been here ready and waiting for you.
Vibe
Hey,
man.
hold on a minute. I got a bone to pick with you two idiots.
What?
Just pause the clock if we can. Josh, thank you very much. I can't remember who it was. Someone came up to me the other day and he goes, "Did you really shit yourself at Potato Head?" And I said, "What?" Because I did go to Potato Head. So for a moment there, I was like, did I shit myself at Potato Head? And I was going play by play through the moment of Potato Head.
Well, I'll give you one guess. Who do you think it was? Nick Rynne or me?
Yeah, I know exactly who. it was.
So
And then they were like,
earnest
"Oh no, I heard it on the pod." I was like, "Oh, these idiots." But it must have been like realistic enough
Yeah.
for them to think that it was
Well,
a
I just
possibility.
figured you're at Potato Head at some
Well,
stage.
if
tell
you're
you what.
And
breaking
everyone
your
nearly-
barley virginity, you're going to have
and
to
everyone nearly
stool.
shits himself at some
Well, yeah,
stage.
Potato Head. My God, it's more expensive than Perth.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
man,
Is there
sometimes.
Mississippi or something over there? Did you get there?
I didn't get there. No.
Is that there's a big diving board.
Yeah,
or something?
diving board around. Anyway, plough on.
Play
All
on.
right.
Next one.
We're going to Geelong. So a few flowers
Ooh.
off the top for Lawson Humphries.
Oh,
Um,
jeez.
So I love I mean, he did play 10 league games, so he did kind of come from the Rezzies. He played half a season in Rezzies and played finals in Rezzies.
Well, the Rezzies because the seniors didn't play
and the season,
finals.
mate, he played the last 10
the
games in
senior-
league.
So the
It's-
narrative around him
but he
being plucked
qualified.
from the narrative around him being plucked from the
Not
reserves
quite
is a
right.
load of baloney
But-
because he was in the seniors
Yes.
and then the seniors didn't play
he
finals.
played finals.
So then he went back.
Yeah.
Fair to say though, where Geelong plucked him in the
It was
60s.
still-
I think was it 64?
Yeah,
It
64.
was like the last pick of the draft or something.
It was
second
the one
last
they
pick.
negotiated for ages.
Someone said to me because the Humphreys out at Swan Districts, I coached a couple of them.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh, is he Bunbury or whereabouts is he from?" And he's obviously not. And then someone said, "Oh, I think he did the 2K in a pair of board shorts." And I was like, "I like this Humphreys
Yeah,
kid."
yeah.
Someone reckons he did the tour with the sunnies on,
Really?
and the
boardies.
boardies.
Well,
and
'cause
placed.
And
he
that
was-
could completely be untrue, but he would have run
No,
well.
I
We love
believe
him.
that he could have been NGA for West Coast.
Yeah, but so this is one of those ones
Yeah.
where if he was NGA at West Coast 2 years ago, highly unlikely he'd be on the list now.
Why's that?
Well, he just
wasn't ready at
wasn't
that
the ready.
point.
He wasn't the player he was there.
Yeah, exactly.
Just simply wasn't ready.
And I actually bumped into Daisy Pearce this morning. And
Yep.
She was at Geelong when he got drafted at the end of
yeah.
last year. She
Yeah,
was
right.
like, great kid, yada. And she said, he said to her, and I don't think she'd mind me saying this, but for the year before he had that sort of breakout end, he said, I stopped taking it seriously. I just thought it was going to happen. You know, I'm in the academies and all that. I'm feeling pretty good about myself, and then I dropped right off.
Well, I think that's what they mean by wasn't ready. Like,
he's running
you're working
board
out
short.
pretty
Like,
Well, I think he was in the States 16s, but not the 18s.
Yeah, so he dropped off
one of those
significantly. But my God,
What
can
about
this kid play?
Jezza Cameron was saying that they still don't know what foot he kicks with.
Well, it's beautiful.
Doesn't know. And Jez was like, he's a right footer. And then day one of training or day two of training, he goes and does a kick in and kicks it on his left. Just like, what's this kid doing?
He doesn't have it.
96% he went. He didn't have four contested, but
immediately one of my. I reckon I flagged him 2 weeks ago when he debuted, and I said this kid's got something.
Well, soon you'll be able to claim you plucked him out of the Colts.
I did. I knew him when he was 8. I said to him, I went down an under-8s game, and I said, this kid.
Yeah, I'm Stephen Wells. He's just actually plucked one from God. He was down at Margaret River, believe it or not. That spread a little bit too far for me. Brisbane Lions yesterday, they were pretty impressive to watch. West Coast were pretty good. At halftime, they were plus 20 in clearances. So if you double that, if the trend continued, plus 40. And inside 50s, they were going to get to plus into 70 odd. They could have split that game open. Credit to West Coast, they fought hard in the second half to level those numbers up. Harris Andrews, and again, you can't say Andrews. And there's no human that calls the football that just calls him Andrews. You have to say Harris Andrews.
Yeah.
He's so dominant.
Yeah.
He's so dominant. Like Oscar Allen kicked 3, I get it, but one was out the back. One was a free kick where Harris Andrews outmarked him. And then the third one was Oscar on a lead, I think. But prior to that, he had 5 spoils with the first 5 attempts by West Coast. He's a wall. And that was impressive to watch because I sit there and we admire Garv and those sort of defenders. Harris Andrews is an out-and-out star defender.
Yeah, he is. You know, he'd be an amazing goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Because of his stretch and he's just.
He reminds me of Eric McKenzie.
Mate, so you reckon if we had if we had international rules, he'd be the Dustin Fletcher in goals?
He'd have to be.
And there's another point I want to bring up. Like Hugh McCluggage is a good. Like Lockie Neal's a superstar. I think we all agree with that now. Hugh McCluggage had 30 odd yesterday, but here's some of the seasons with his goal kicking: 8 goals, 15, 8 goals, 21, 15 goals, 22, 13, 13, and 11, 11 this year. Like it's funny that a player that we see as a skillful player, silky player. Like yesterday, he just blasted 2 opportunities, and then the third one, he was like, "I can't do this again," and passed it. It's just that part of his game that hasn't improved.
So you think that a couple of weeks ago when he jailed that one from the boundary?
Yeah, it'd be like that was a kick like the Wizard on the weekend. Like they went the drop punt,
the curl
around drop punt.
It's almost
option.
like those really difficult ones. The pressure's
off.
Yeah,
that's why you see
but
people
at the
kicking
same
50
time,
and go.
Joe Danaher was calling for the hands on that one when he was on the boundary, and he said, "No,
there's not a handball that Joe hasn't seen that he wants to get, and there's not one he usually gives."
We're 100% on Brisbane after that yesterday.
Yeah.
Was that just an interim coach bump from West Coast?
Bump, but the numbers at halftime would have suggested it should have been
cool.
8 goals.
They're in the 4.
Yeah.
All right.
Crazy.
North Melbourne, I'm going to get them out of the way early. They obviously poor against Sydney, but that was coming. They'd had a few good weeks, and that tends to happen with those young teams.
And Sydney had a couple of poor weeks.
So it was
they were ready to go.
Bit of a perfect storm. They play Richmond in round 21. It is coming. They are currently on the same number of wins.
Really?
A very similar percentage.
Who's on the bottom of the ladder?
Richmond is just...
okay.
Just
so we're still
1.1.
right. When Joey Montaigne said they won't be on the bottom ladder for 10 years.
Still correct.
Yeah.
You're still right.
Well, we're
1.1%.
right there. Now, my question is, it's going to come up again.
Tank.
Do they win that game? Now, they're second last at the moment. So
What's
winner
Jordan
of that
McMahon
game, the winner of that game is probably going to lose the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
So how did the teams approach it?
And the extension of that, they're going to lose my man.
You reckon your man's going 1 now?
Well, this is. We'll pivot to. I'll do Richmond next.
Okay. No, mate. If Harley Reid was the standout of a decade.
Yeah.
And Clarko still reckons he's done well out of it. McKercher and Dersman. I love McKercher.
Yeah.
We've seen plenty from McKercher.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think right now they'd say, oh, good, Harley Reid's played 4 really good games. He's been a bit quiet of late. McKercher's been good. If they were in the behind closed doors and they got to choose one,
Harley Reid, for sure.
choose Harley Reid. But McKercher's very good.
So you're Richmond, you're North, you're trying to win that game still.
Richmond, I think, is very different to North.
They need the 1.
Yeah. Oh, they're shitter.
Well, they got less than a couple.
Yeah,
far
less than a
couple.
couple. Far less.
Yeah.
But having said that, Richmond could leapfrog West Coast rebuild in one active off-season. Baker, Rioli,
just ship 'em.
Dusty, murmuring still around Bolton. I know they've said no. Murmuring still around Bolton. If they get active around that, they leapfrog West Coast soft rebuild within one off-season.
Go hard.
With pick one in there, and they've already got picks stashed up there somehow with something. I don't know how, but we're looking at it the other day. There's a couple of extra little sneaky picks in Richmond's list.
Okay.
Well, that's our pivot to Richmond, and I think this is my point is it's time to go hard for Harvey. Harvey Langford, number 22.
You've written the headline.
Go hard for Harvey. It's time. Well, I was trying to find a good. What was the old
So this is this was
Rigging
the man
for Wiggins.
that, what, 5 weeks ago, Zave said,
He's pretty good.
I found a kid.
Yeah.
Found a kid.
What's
Found
his
one.
number 22 for Vic Country?
Big country. His name escaped us all for weeks.
Well,
No,
you-
it's escaped
No,
you,
it
Ed.
escaped you. You thought
no,
it was...
all of us. Nobody can find it.
You claimed it
Nobody
was
found
Archer Reed from West
He was
Coast.
hiding
He's already
in the
on a
pivot
list.
somewhere.
That was your moment. So people now text me saying Nick's moments in the podcast. Last week when we were rattling off Adelaide midfielders,
Yeah.
Nick threw Matty Crouch on the weekend. Matt Crouch hasn't played for
Crouch.
6 weeks. But yeah, no, you threw him in.
He's
But
around the mark.
Langford.
Number
I
22,
picked
Harvey
him
Langford.
off
Lark-
30 seconds of play
and Lark
purely on a
medal.
ball drop of his kick. And then he's gone on to win the Lark medal from nowhere.
How good is that? And if so, you had to throw his name up as a Lark medalist at the start of the year. Well, no one knew he was.
Well,
clearly.
we did some
Nobody.
research. He wasn't in the top 25
25?
Yeah, that's right.
prospects.
And now,
What are they smoking, these blokes?
He's not going to be the number 1 pick, though.
Oh, hang on.
it's time to do it. We can't go. Mate, he's got a story. He's got a narrative building.
He's
now.
got a
It's time to go
narrative,
hard
mate.
For it.
Yeah.
Look
Don't
what
worry
he's
about
done in
Josh
5
Smiley.
weeks.
Okay.
And
Imagine what he
also-
does in 15
Josh,
years.
you
The
really
bolter.
want.
He's
You'd
the
rather a
bolter.
country boy, you know. You want a country boy
do.
to really be
I
that
do
tough
like
in and
I do
under.
like a country
start
player.
the
If I
build.
Well, they do it hard. They do it much harder than the other sides.
Even if the umpires are going for
Resilience.
Metro.
Hey?
Resilience.
I'm not even like I'm being smart. My home ground at Gippsland Power was 2.5 hours from my house.
Yeah.
Like it's a bloody big effort to get to training.
Correct.
That's why I didn't get to training. But yeah, no, the country
When I
boys do
went,
it
it
hard.
was a huge
The
effort.
country boys do it
Yeah,
different.
yeah.
I must say. But
Mate, it's time to
Langford,
do it.
while we're on
Forget
it,
the rest.
if you haven't seen the end of that Vic Country Vic Metro game,
Oh, mate.
that was
Horrible.
first the country goal of the mark on the goal line that
Yeah.
wasn't a mark, and then the pick-up snap. Then the free kick,
And then 50.
and then the abuse 50. Doesn't sit well for me.
Nah, that's a gross. Was it gross?
But
Crazy ending.
That's
Those
clearly a KPI for the umpires this year. Make a big game-defining call late.
Th-
Then
those-
you want to
yeah.
get, you want to get noticed.
Those under 18 series or whatever they're called, they often end in cracking
Yeah.
games of footy.
Drama. Yeah.
All right. Is it me?
Yeah, you back you.
Let's go to the Hawthorn.
Hawthorn.
Hawthorn. I know.
Hawthorn.
I've got a bit of something in my throat.
There's a bit of chicken strip.
There's going to be phlegm, I think. So I better move on.
Hawthorn.
Lloydie, spit on that thing. Ted says it, a 5-year-old. Yeah, not great. Lloyd Meek, 51 hit outs. He's been an impressive player for Hawthorn this season.
Hasn't he?
Yeah, he has been really good. Just quickly, not very often, and I'm certain coaches would, or the good coaches would say, we do bugger all on game day. Literally bugger all. Maybe you're losing midfield numbers and you might go, right, let's bring a half forward up. That's it. Like they do absolutely nothing on game day. Their job is Monday to Friday, pre-season, structures, game style, game plan, implementing it so it's autopilot for the players, the coaches on the field, coach, and that's how the game's done. Sam Mitchell moving Sicily, your captain, who was getting his pants pulled down in defence, couldn't tackle, couldn't lift his arm up, to go forward and kick 3 goals and win the game. Not very often you highlight a coach, but bloody Sam Mitchell, he's good at it.
It seems so simplistic though, too, doesn't it? It's like things
He's
aren't
good.
working. Let's just take this guy and put him forward and see if he
Yeah.
can jag a
But
couple.
in the coach's box, they would have gone Amos,
Amos.
Tracy.
Yep.
Voss.
Yeah.
They're already short as a small in defence as it is.
Yeah.
Do we move our captain from there?
Yeah.
Like it's a big call.
Do we want to
It's a
stop it or do
massive
we want to
call.
win it?
But and I was sitting with my Freo mates at the pub, and they straight away said, "Oh, I'd rather Sicily the other end."
Yeah.
Like they picked straight away
Yeah,
that
he's
it-
danger man.
Yeah, and it's clever.
Yeah.
A clever footballer.
It reminded me of, remember John Walsford had the Adam
Oh,
Hunter.
Adam Hunter.
Adam
So
Hunter.
Back
any
forward.
West Coast were like, they needed a goal,
Yeah.
they'd take the centre half back, and it was always this one move that everyone used to take the piss out of
Yeah.
because it was like, oh, he's done that one thing.
Yeah.
But it worked
Works.
all the time.
Well, Clarko had Sean Burgoyne go to stop him, go
why
set
don't
about
more
Yeah,
coaches do this stuff?
Forwards go back.
Well, I
backs go
think they're
forward.
probably doing it. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
So it only gets noticed when it works. So
Yeah,
if Sicily had
look,
gone forward and not
Done
kicked a
nothing.
goal,
No one said anything. Anyone
and
said
then Freo got a couple
his shoulder
more
was sore.
because they were undersized.
Yeah.
Sicily had to move because his shoulder was sore, and
took a chance.
D'Ambrosio had been subbed off after 40 minutes.
Yep. Yep. That'll be me. Adelaide had a win. Played St Kilda. So the decision to make the Thriller the sub.
Oh,
How are we feeling about that one?
I don't mind it. He
you
might
got to
have
bring
been.
him back in somehow.
Yeah,
Do
it's the Luke
Also, it's a
Parker.
bit
It's the
of-
Luke Parker
yeah.
treatment. Once you're in, you're in.
It's a
Okay.
bit of theatre too, you know.
I
It's
don't
like
love it
the-
when the big boys are the subs. I don't like that.
It's like you're the caged beast on the side, and then he's scaring the other side the whole time, and then you
Tell you
unleash
what,
him.
I don't reckon
Open
there's
the-
too many
open the
St Kilda
doors.
players we going, oh shit, the Thriller's not
Man,
on
you've
yet.
seen him now. His crazy
Yeah.
eyes,
He's
like his big
big.
muscles.
He's big.
He's big. He kicked a couple of goals, came
No,
on
he
late.
did.
He
So-
looks a bit.
there-
He looks a bit nuts.
There was a topic this morning on radio. They were saying lift your game, Adelaide, because they made him do runs
Oh,
after the game and not sing the song.
key forward.
what?
Yeah, no, but so I think Bucks was saying lift your game, Adelaide, like let the kid
Yeah.
sing the song, and Kane was like, I loved it. You've only played 40 minutes, go running.
No
Like
singing for you.
part of me is sort of with Kane on that one. Like you're warm, you're off injury,
Yeah.
you've got through
I think-
unscathed.
yeah.
Knock your running session over and then go hug the boys and.
Is it different because it's his first one of the season?
And he
Don't
also
know.
helped win the game.
Like,
Yeah.
I get it. Like if you're in every week, who cares? Like you sing the song.
Yeah.
But if you're like a debutant or if you haven't played all year,
Well, Adelaide haven't sung it a lot
it's
either.
round 18. Like, come on. Like,
We have missed the Thriller because we did pump him up pre-season.
Oh, we did, mate. He's delivered in
The
one
other two-
quarter.
Oh, yeah.
One quarter, he's delivered.
the other two I like. I do like what I see in Billy Dowling. There's something there.
Yeah.
And Zach Taylor. I've
Taylor,
I've been keeping an eye on Zach Taylor for a couple of years in the Sandford.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I know. You know when you
Discovered him at Port
No,
Lincoln.
but you know when you see some under 18s guys,
It's
and you're
funny.
like, I like that guy,
Yeah.
and then they just disappear
Yeah.
off the face
And then
of
it's
the
funny
earth.
how after they start playing good footy at AFL level,
You
it's like,
remember-
oh, I
you
was
remember-
actually
you
I was
remember
watching
it.
him.
Taylor.
Yeah.
I remember him
But
one day against
you
the
still look at
That's
Adelaide and
rugby.
go, their cupboard's pretty bare.
It is bare, but the fact that they're giving these guys some chances is the right thing.
Yeah,
They're doing
I know,
the right
agree with
thing
that.
at the
And the
moment.
weather was tough on Saturday night.
Essendon Adelaide on Friday night, hey?
Is it really?
Yeah, in Melbourne. Sure, I mean, because Essendon don't leave Melbourne for quite a long
Essendon.
stretch, as we've identified.
Oh, that's right.
Interesting game, isn't it?
Who? If I give you $50 now, where are you putting it?
I reckon I'll be tempted. I'd be tempted.
Well, let's do it, Essendon. It's just like, why do they have to do it? It's the first week in ages that you haven't had them. So there was a chance to get a bit of positive press here.
Yeah.
And they just shit the bed.
Yep.
Like,
Oh,
they
they're
ju-
playing a reasonable team at the MCG. Let's.
No Max Gorn, no
they had
Christian
no
Petrarca.
ruckman. No ruckman at
Harrison
all.
Petty was in the ruck.
What do you want a ruckman on a wet night? Well, brilliant, clever.
They're going got tough and they didn't really go.
Oh, he's up on the boys.
Oh,
Are
now
they
you-
still
So
in the
they've
eight?
won 2 of their last 6.
Are they still in the eight?
Yeah, they're still in the
just.
eight.
They're just. So if they lose
sixth.
to Adelaide, and,
98%.
and any number, of, well, yeah, if they
Yeah,
lose
there's
to
about
Adelaide,
8 teams below.
Yeah.
they'll and Port will beat Richmond. You'd
Yeah.
think. They potentially could drop out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if they win.
2 weeks ago, I said they're not going to make the eight.
No, I've had a little syndicate. Our little syndicate we do.
Of them missing.
Missing eight.
You
Sorry,
don't
sorry,
know.
Kev. I've been a supporter
It's a
for to help you out,
percentage.
but I'm certainly
Percentage kills them. Out
No,
of
there's,
that,
there's
out
a
of
lot
that,
of there's a lot of draws in there. Have they got a draw in their side? They got a draw in there.
They've got,
Exactly.
they've got
Yeah,
a draw.
they got a draw.
Yeah, but so does half the other.
Yeah, no, there's too many. Usually, one draw's handy.
Yeah.
because it
Yeah,
separates
so
you.
many
and
have
it's-
it now.
Brisbane's got a draw. Freo's got a draw. Collingwood's got a draw.
Yeah. And
they're-
Collingwood's got 2, don't
Two.
they? Yeah.
that's
so-
4, 5, 6. It's Brisbane, Fremantle, Essendon. They all have a draw.
Yeah.
So
But
yeah,
it does
hasn't
give
really
you a little
helped.
bit of a buffer over the
does.
teams that don't have.
Correct.
Yeah, it's got a buffer over
It's still-
GWS and Melbourne and
it's still
Port. The next
working.
rung down.
Yeah.
They're talking about 2 metre Peter sending him
Versus
back to
Sam
the
Draper?
sending him to the twos.
But you know, that's again a wet night. Like he's not going to be very effective.
I don't think
No,
he's been ineffective all
I'm
year.
taking Peter Wright over Sam Draper.
Yeah.
Yeah, people love Sam Draper, but we're not big here, are we?
We've
He's
never been a
fine.
Sam Draper podcast.
He's a fine ruckman,
It's
but
fine.
he's not like.
There's just people always ask about who's the most hyped player based on their output. It's clearly him.
Overhyped player. you mean?
Overhyped.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's not to say he's
Yeah.
terrible.
I'm going to ask that question for the remaining teams. I've got the overhyped player on the list too. That's just coming. That's just
Little
curveball.
yeah,
bonus.
Wood is probably Sam Draper.
Little bonus curveball.
Uh,
Are they going to beat the Crows? Jeez, if they don't beat the Crows,
Yeah.
it's over.
They should beat the Crows.
They'd have to.
You should beat 8 Crows without ranking.
Yeah, but the Thriller's back.
But the Thriller's back. True. It's probably play full game.
let's
Crows
go to
win.
the coachless team, West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
Firstly, how much do you reckon Simo hated tossing the coin?
I'd love to get a breakdown of his outfit changes and choices.
Did he do?
Remember the retro
jacket,
jacket,
yeah.
but then he was in the
Hold on a
shirt,
minute.
jacket and
Hold
shirt.
on a minute. What was the one sponsor that was on the jacket?
Oh, Hungry Jacks.
How many stores does Simo own?
17 of them.
True.
Yes, correct.
There we go.
He wasn't wearing
There's
the
conspiracy
SGIO or
corner.
the other one, whatever it is. Yeah. He would. Did he do some joke when he the
Yeah.
marmalade
He did
thing?
this-
We toss it normally, but you look right up,
Yeah.
and people start searching for the. And it was NAIDOC week as well, so it went from him just shaking hands with Harris Andrews.
Everybody
players.
did
There was 8 or 9 players in the middle. It was just like, oh. So Dean Cox is the if you were to set a market, he's $1.10.
I'm assuming there is a market. Is there a
There
market?
probably is a market.
You have a look, but I would
That's a good
say
point. I'm not
yes.
gonna
He
try.
would have to be in the $1.30 range. I would say, just because there's still time. I don't think he'll keep firming. Now, the question I put to you and Embers yesterday was, let's say Dean Cox played his entire career in Geelong, but he's still got the same career
Yeah,
and he's
yep,
had
yep,
the
yep.
same coaching pedigree.
Are you chasing him as hard?
Is he still the number one candidate? I think the answer is yes.
He probably is, but that's what made me laugh at the initial market. It's just all ex-Eagles. Like, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, but
why do you have to get an Eagles
No,
person?
because I said this to these guys yesterday. I reckon if, let's say, St Kilda's job was coming up, I still think you'd have Cox,
You'd have to ask the question of Dean
Hansen,
Cox.
and Graham. I think they'd be in the 5 best candidates.
Yeah, they
so
probably
I
are.
think it's actually a perfect storm for West Coast that you've got
There's a lot.
3 former players.
The only thing I would say is I'm just going to give you first couple here. Who coached Collingwood?
oh, you're
Nathan
doing that
Buckley.
thing. Yeah, I'll let Nick do
Yeah.
this.
So who coached Collingwood the premiership last year?
Oh, Craig Gray.
Yeah. How many games you played for Collingwood?
Yeah, 0.
Geelong,
Chris
Chris Scott never played for
Goodwin,
Yeah, no.
Hardwick,
Yeah,
Simpson,
yeah, no.
Beveridge, Clarkson, Horse. Keeps going. If Cox is the best in the business, great, you deserve the job. He's a ripping fella, Dino. He's an absolute superstar. But there's no more club, like any club in the country, like West Coast, with the amount of politics that goes on. And if you get a clean skin, they don't know who 50-year board magnet thrower is and what he's doing here.
So that's
And because at the end, there was a lot of little leaks that were going on around West Coast and a lot of murmurings and a lot of headbutting and a lot of that sort of stuff. Someone who comes in clean, like Simo, he didn't understand he
just did the job.
The way West Coast was built for a long time. And they are so big and powerful.
They are.
That's the only thing would be a clean skin versus someone who spent
One thing I will
17 years
One
there.
thing I will say is that if, let's say, things stay pear-shaped, which we think they're going to for a couple of years, like they're not going to click their fingers and turn around, right? Someone like Coxie would get a longer leash. Like the fans
you
will
wouldn't
put up
want to
with
Ken
3
Judge if-
bad years
yeah.
from Coxie.
Yeah, but you don't want it to turn up because Essendon also, James Hird was their love child.
Yeah,
Nathan
that got
Buckley,
rid- that-
Nathan
the
Buckley
Herd
was
thing-
their love
But
child.
the Herd thing got weird because of everything else.
Michael Voss was their love child.
Yeah, the Voss thing was ugly.
So
it makes
like,
it harder.
does.
Makes it harder to cut ties.
It does make it
It
harder to
does.
sack him. It definitely makes it harder.
But let's
to
not talk about saying, come on, Dino, give it to him, big fella.
if I had to bet my life on it, I'd say it's Dean Cox.
I think it's 97%
They're
Dino.
you
going to
find a
upgrade
market?
the.
No market.
No, mate, because there's
They
no
don't
point.
agree at that point.
There's no point.
Yeah, it's just Dean Cox.
Because they see the big boys are going to slide in
it's
there.
Coxie versus the field.
Yeah.
They're going
And
to add
still
another
dog
wing
food.
to the Dampier tin shed.
Oh, the shack.
Okay, this is me again. I'm going to go Freo. So one thing I reckon it might have gone under the radar is Luke Ryan, since Alex Pearce hasn't been playing, his form's dropped right off. And it's one of the things that was making Freo really successful was Luke Ryan sort of being almost a quarterback off the back and him and Jordan Clark using the footy. It would be Ryan,
he on
patient.
Sicily?
I think he was. I was listening to the game, not watching it, so it was hard for me to keep.
I was watching, I said 13 schooners.
and then Clark with the dash off the half back line. So I think with Pearce, he'll be back this week.
They made the right call not playing Pearce.
Oh, definitely.
You know, there was talk about, can we squeeze him in?
Yeah, no.
If Freo were good enough, they would have won that game. They
Yep.
could have won that game. Nothing worse could have happened to Fremantle if they got back on the plane and he's
Yeah.
re-broken his arm.
I know this morning you were like, oh, they lost, and I was like, yeah. I would almost say that.
No, I was more my DMs were a bit quiet from the
Oh, were
church.
they?
No, were they?
The old
The pasta.
stick your tent in your ass, that sort of stuff.
I would say going to Tassie to play Hawthorn, most clubs would put that down as a loss. And if you can win there,
At the moment, you would.
Yeah,
like
at
if
the
Freo had
moment,
come
we
away
would,
with
yeah.
that win, I would have been like, geez, that's a big win for them.
Our favourites.
Yeah, were they?
Yeah.
Freo.
Yeah.
Jeez, that surprises me.
Well, because Hawks are in
They're
form
13th.
over the
It's probably but Hawthorn's probably in the top 3 teams for form.
Yeah, a bad loss at Geelong.
Yeah,
Dominated down in Geelong.
Had they not
week
had
before.
that,
Yeah,
then it was probably.
Yeah.
I went in thinking that Freo were going to lose the game to be close. So,
So
that's pretty much
I
what
thought Fremantle were going to win,
Did you?
and my phone was buzzing away, and I was like, "Stop texting me. This is my grand final for the year. I just need to beat the Dockers as I was sitting with a table of Dockers."
They do ride the Freo fans ride the wave harder than anyone.
Good on them. Love
Like
it.
we saw Carbo and Sam this morning in at Triple
Yeah.
M, and they're just like shattered about this loss. I'm like, you
Nah.
lost by 13 in Tassie.
Nah,
Like,
yeah.
it's not the end of the world. Like you can't win every week.
You just missed a few in the third quarter, and that's probably undid you.
Yeah, exactly. They're second youngest team for the weekend again.
Yeah, I've heard enough about the youth. They can finish top 4. Like,
And-
They can.
but we're saying, they're top four. If they don't, well, they're young.
No,
Just finish top 4. You're there. You're right
it's
there.
a good spot to be in. It's a good spot.
What was it? And what's their draft hand? The draft hand at the moment, like
7, 10 and
7,
15 or
10,
something.
15 and 22 or 23.
Yeah, it's good.
Not bad.
It's very good.
Well, I'll go to Collingwood. I was just looking at them the other night. Like, do you agree with this?
So
They
did
have
it- did-
to.
I wasn't listening, so we just had to quickly redo an edit. Did he go to Collingwood the first time?
I don't know. Did he?
No, I don't think I'd picked.
No, okay.
I was just looking at it.
I was like, well, I'll go to Collingwood. I was like, I didn't hear Collingwood before.
We don't
8
edit.
seconds ago.
We don't edit,
don't
but there
edit.
was an issue with one of the cameras, so we had
An
to
issue.
stop for a moment. And
then Nick's changed his mind in 8 seconds what he was going to do.
Go. No, I didn't know before. So just looking at them, I went back over their drafts recently.
Oh, this is
and I'm
unusual.
a little bit. I know. I've got a lot of notes here. And I opened it this morning. I was like, that's too many notes. I'm not reading all that.
Which site do you steal these from?
No, this one's Footy Wire. So I had to go back and see who they've drafted. Because I looked at their list, and we've done it before, like the best player in 5 years' time.
yes,
And they're not, like, it's pretty shallow
Well, Nick
underneath.
Dacos is handy.
Nick Dacos was
Nick
handy.
Dacos.
Well, it's Nick Dacos and then Daylight. But this is, so their last few years, they're going to have to get some draft picks. They don't have this year's first rounder, which is going to Freo, which could be, like we just said, pick 7.
7 at the moment.
For Schultz.
Wait
but
until Gold Coast get their leg ups and it'll be pick 17.
26, yeah.
stash a few for Tassie. So last year, they didn't come until 25, and that was Harry Demetia, who's injured, hasn't played much. Was he playing twos?
No, who knows?
he's now in the twos.
He's now
he
back
missed
in the
most
twos.
of the year.
Yeah. And Chujath, who's had a made his debut.
CJ's brother.
Yeah, so that's right. And then the year before that, they didn't come in until 19, which was Ed Allen, and then Jacob Ryan, who's had a few runs.
But I would say they also won a flag last year.
They did.
So first round draft picks mean
No, but
nothing.
this is how,
I get it. I get
over
what you're
a
saying.
number of years is where you come in. So the year before that was Dacos, and then the next pick after that was 45.
Yeah.
So there's a big gap after that. The year before that was Ollie Henry at 17, and Finley McRae, who's
But
sort
what
of
do they get
fringe
back?
player.
What do they get back for Ollie Henry?
They use it. I think
They did
they used it to
pretty
package up Dacos.
Yeah.
They probably had to use it to get Dacos.
Collingwood's focus has clearly been, and that was including that period of mess where they had to get rid of Treloar and a couple other guys. It's clearly been let's get in pieces that we
In the
think
window.
will help us win.
Yeah.
Bobby Hill, Lockie Schultz. Let's
I'm
get
just
Darcy
worried
Cameron.
now.
Let's just add pieces.
I'm worried unless they draft, they get some early picks, that they're going to go down the same route as that Hawthorn, not Hawthorn, sorry, West Coast,
That's
Richmond.
That's fine though. Like those clubs that are winning premierships.
Can
yeah, that's fine, but you won
you
one.
could drop back.
But you
Can I-
won one, and then you've had
well-
a shit year because you lost a few.
No, I
Like,
know what
showed
you're
the
saying,
depth
but I'd
isn't there.
rather win one. And they competed in a prelim and just got dicked. They played in the grand final at 18 and should have won.
Can we
Could
extend,
have
Joshy?
won.
Let's extend. Well, yeah, no criticism of their approach over the last 4 years. I'm just saying if they don't get some in the next few years, and you go, let's say 6-7 years without a pick anywhere near 10,
No, you're going to struggle. But for 7 years, you've had a shot at winning a premiership.
But
And I'd
is it-
certainly take the 7 years of
is
premiership
it as
champs.
sustainable? Because they're now
No,
sitting
but
12th.
that's how the design's meant to be. Like, you meant to fall off a cliff at some stage.
Yeah,
But
go
not
back to-
after
give
one
me-
flag.
Mate, they lost 2018 on the Siren, and they lost a prelim by a goal in.
Oh yeah, they've had others through then. They're not going back
well,
that
that's
far.
that's 6 years.
That's a different build, isn't
That's
it?
6 years.
Oh, hold on, let me give you this. And because I was thinking about this with Simo the
2053.
other day. I was thinking about this with Simo's 10, 11-year stretch.
Yeah.
If I said to you right now, the coach of your football club, the new coach of your football club, you're going to get 11 years. In there, you're going to get a losing grand final. You're going to get a winning grand final. You're going to get a spoon. You're going to finish bottom 4 maybe twice.
Yeah.
And there'll be maybe another
But
couple
they
of
had
finals.
6 goes to the
Six
finals.
Six.
Yeah.
Would you
You'd
take that?
Yes.
100%.
100% you would. You would 100% take that. You would finish last
Nick
6
wants to
times.
go down to
Mate, I'm
Peel and
just
watch the
flagging
first
it.
rounders running around the Peel. Who cares about that?
I'm just flagging
Nick
this
wants to
as
go
a
to the
watch.
athletics track at Collingwood and watch them on a Saturday morning at 8 a.m.
I think
Flagging it as a
cares?
watch. Keep an eye on it. They've got to go to the draft soon or there'll be
you
trouble.
wait 4 years from now and go, I told you.
Yeah, told you.
I told you.
And Scott Pendlebury's got a
Save
sore
this.
back with his 7 premierships
Yeah.
and just cleaned up at the end.
45-year-old
No, but they're in
Scott
trouble.
Pendlebury.
Are they going to make the finals?
I think they will.
You reckon?
Jeez, they're playing very good.
But it's just because I have belief in them, which it might be silly.
Such a crowded. That whole. This is a weird season.
Western Bulldogs, let's head there. Now, I'm stealing this stat off Selb. Tim English. So we're up to round 17 just gone. How many, of the games we've had, how many hit-out battles, has Tim English won this year?
One.
I say two.
How many hit outs?
Yeah, so on the weekend, just picking, Lloyd Meek had 51. I think Jackson had 40,
okay. So
42.
out of his 18 games.
18
I'd say maybe
head-to-heads,
two or three.
head-to-heads with the ruckman.
I'll say
How many
three.
has he won? I don't know.
All-Australian ruckman last year, 204 centimetres.
Minimum half, so 9.
Zero.
Zero.
I don't sell me. He has not won a ruck like a head-to-head.
What?
With the
Hit out
razzle
battle.
dazzle, the over the top of the flopper, whatever you call it, duck egg.
That's
On the weekend,
It
I was
doesn't
like,
shock
That's
me.
unbelievable.
on the weekend, I was like, I definitely would have won the weekend.
Yeah.
Definitely because they were playing
and
Van
two
Rooyen.
ruckmen.
Yeah.
So you split it in two.
Yeah.
Nah, Pitnet
Oh, so
still got him.
Not even team hit outs. You're just talking number one versus number one.
Yeah, so Pitnet had 36 hit-outs, and English he had 32.
He rucked the whole game.
He rucked the whole game, and De Koning had 13. So, he still, even when the split share, couldn't get over the top. I couldn't believe that when Sal was talking about English in his ruck hit-out battles, that he
That's
hasn't.
pretty stunning, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
it's
the
always,
All-Australian ruckman, and
Yeah.
he's not a small ruckman. He's 200, and I know he's
It's- yeah,
agile.
always
and-
been the knock on him.
But he should be able to win those hit
It's
outs,
all,
right?
but
With his
you'd
size.
look at him and you'd assume that he's the most dominant tap ruckman in the comp.
Yeah.
So what is it? Is it an attitude thing?
No, I just don't. I think he's lean. He's skinny.
He can get
so the centre bounce.
bullied out of it.
His legs
Nah,
are
but think about the big boys that you're banging into.
Big Max.
He doesn't have a huge upper body.
The days are gone
Yeah.
of where he's jumped, you can run and jump. They just run in and hit each other
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
But I thought that was interesting. Poor old Bulldogs, not poor old Bulldogs. That was a fantastic win over Carlton. Treloar laid out, etc.
Yep.
But the way the ladder's structured with so many teams right up your clack, they're still sitting 10th.
Yeah.
With
That's
a
because
tough,
every second week they shit the bed.
Yeah.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Rory lobbed down back. I only watched the back half. Took some plucks, but then he had a few early that weren't great. It's a tough watch, Rory lob.
Let's go to Carlton, where you just mentioned the fact that Pitnet and De Koning was. I think that Carlton lost that game at selection. One,
Two rucks.
what are you doing
I was
playing
about to
Pitnet?
bring up the same thing in my argument then. So
Right.
good.
I don't understand it. De Koning's been flying unless. Look, and I've heard this thing with Luke Jackson, and they're a similar type of ruckman, De Koning and Jackson. So maybe
I don't think they are. I think De Koning's bigger and
Yeah.
more
I
of a.
I sort of mean in the athleticism. They're athletic ruckman rather than big lumpy ruckman, right? So they're not Darcy,
De Koning's big.
Nankervis,
He's a big
but he's
boy.
also a jumper.
Yeah,
he's a jumper.
He's a big boy.
Jackson's a jumper too. So then the thing with Jackson's always been, if there's more likely to get an injury being that type of ruckman, so he doesn't want to ruck the whole game. Maybe De Koning saw and they thought we need Pitnet in. I hope that's
I
the
heard
case.
Carlton say they're horses for courses, etc. the other day about the rucks. That is outrageous. Their second best player. They're their second best player
Yeah,
behind Cripper.
he's been De
I know
Koning.
Charlie's
Yeah,
leading
yeah,
the
what do you-
Coleman. De Koning is their third best player.
Do you reckon they didn't
You
know
reckon?
that Tim
Yeah.
English hasn't won a hit-out competition?
Yeah, they didn't know, yeah.
The other two,
So-
though, it wasn't just Pitnet. George Hewitt, when they were flying, George Hewitt and Matt Kennedy were a big part of that.
Yeah.
Suddenly they can't. Hewitt's in the VFL and Kennedy's the sub. I don't
De
get it.
Koning's the one. I just thought he's at the stage and hand up was wrong. You know, they're talking about, Sydney were offering $1 million.
Yeah,
and what?
couldn't say
I
it.
was like,
He'd be underpaid.
what the hell?
Underpaid.
The last 6 weeks, he has shown he could be the best ruckman in the competition.
Yeah.
I looked at him in his highest of highest. And if he did this for years on years and years, he's polling a lot of Brownlow votes. That's how dominant he was against his ruckman. And
Yeah.
then they go split it.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree.
Madness.
Awful. Just awful. And we talked about this 2-3 weeks ago with Carlton. The one thing that can screw them up is themselves.
Don't overcomplicate it.
Yeah, no, that's over. They've overthought it. They cost them a game.
Their magnets should have dust on it.
They'll probably
just
still be
don't
fine.
change
Just
them.
don't
Just
touch
dust
it.
them off and just leave them on the board. Sorry, VFL, you don't even bother looking. You're not in.
Yeah, yeah.
Jackson Bins? No, it's not.
Oh,
It's not your week, Jackson. Port Adelaide. This stat's been around a bit.
Is this the last team? No, we
No, we got one
lap.
more
One
round.
more lap.
First time they've lost to Gold Coast since the Suns' first win. in 2011.
So I go again.
Is that right?
It's Port Adelaide's first loss to the Gold Coast since the Suns' first win in 2011,
Wow.
which was over Port.
Is that right?
That's right.
That's crazy.
They just have beaten them every time.
Is that a Tim English stat where you hope someone doesn't audit it, or?
Well, no, I think I stole it off somewhere official.
Yeah,
so
okay.
I would hope it's right. But no, they're another one. So them Western Bulldogs, Essendon not so much, but every time you think they're on track, they just have like an absolute mare. How do you do that last week? Just pull a team apart and then come out and do this. So the question is, where are they at? I've invented a premiership clock.
That's a vibe question.
It's a vibe question, but it's got some structure to it.
Yeah.
There's a premiership clock, 12 p.m.'s premiership.
Okay.
Like, so 10 to 2 is go time. You're either leading up, you're at your peak, or you pinch one late, which is probably like a Geelong. And then you start to rebuild, and then you come along and build up. So 6 p.m.'s halfway.
I have them at like 5:30, 6
you,
o'clock.
You hate Port.
I don't
do
hate
hate
them.
Port.
I just don't. I can't see how they've got
The
enough
Horn
substance.
Francis was bad.
Really bad.
Oof.
Butters is like the shining light.
And Connor Rosie showed patches again, but
But still, he needs
the
to be better
Hornet-
than that, right?
The Hornet was he had 0 disposals in the first quarter, 1 late,
Got angry.
free kicks, 50s. Where are they? I think they're at non-existent, like
Not on the clock.
I had them at
4
5.
o'clock.
I'm at 5:30.
4.
It's hard to tell whether
I mean,
they
Marshall-
need to bring in so many assets or like
Marshall
whether
ripped
what are
his
they doing?
hamstring with Dixon landing on him.
Yeah.
Like Dixon was
Yeah,
like,
and then he sort of
what's
pushed him up
Dixon
and
in the
ripped the hammy.
team? We don't want him in the. We don't want him in the team, but like
No, he shouldn't be.
Georgiades was out, which I get it.
Yeah.
But he actually just popped Marshall's hamstring in half by landing
I
on
feel
his
like
leg.
Port Adelaide at the end of this season, it's likely they're going to change coach, right? It's,
Do you reckon?
well, it's heading that way, isn't it?
I thought that had finished.
You reckon? When they
If
had a good week,
if
win
they
a couple
don't play
weeks ago.
finals, I reckon they need to look at that list again and go, we need to almost
I
start.
agree with
Not
that.
again, because
Yeah.
they've got some blocks, but they need to reassess
But I
and
think we
realise
were-
they're
we
not
were
as
wrong.
close as they think.
The Zerk Thatcher, we thought he fixed the key position
no,
spot, but
he
he
didn't.
was
No,
he was
but
he
then
was
I-
never no. Radaglia, the Ruckman situation. They went out.
Soldo and Sweet.
They went out and
But
got the
that's
positions
kind of-
they
that's
needed,
been
but
okay.
they got B graders or C graders in those.
They've been
positions.
better in the ruck.
But I think
Right.
they're
I like
they,
Sweetie.
You like Big
I
Sweet?
like
Big
Big
Sweet.
Sweetie.
They're the hardest team to pick. Like, what's their path to a premiership here? It's very hard to
No,
figure
I reckon
out.
they need to get lucky. Horn Francis becomes the best player in the competition.
Yep.
And they need to get somehow like a free agent or someone who's like,
Yeah, but
oh, it's
still-
hard. I get it.
Yeah. Hard to
Gold
pick.
Coast. Now, this is another
Oh,
one of those stats
Suns.
that we probably should have checked. But
Nah, don't worry about it.
I was chatting to someone this morning and they said that Gold Coast have not, every single one of their wins has come at home.
Home. Yeah, no, don't need to check.
Or in the Northern
Don't need
Territory.
to check any of that.
Like,
That's
it's
fact.
remarkable. They're
That's
two
fact.
completely different teams. Like,
Noah Anderson, another 3 Brownlow votes.
notice that.
Yeah,
Notice
was
that.
he? Was he? Did you get on him?
Oh, I did, but he was at 40s and whatever. I should have doubled down, but I didn't.
So you're going to win like $40 or something.
They are. Again, I'm not turning the TV on to watch anyone on the Gold Coast. The one I'm probably
You've
turning
been
on to
saying
watch
that for a while.
is Sam Flanders, probably.
You don't like Anderson?
He's nice.
I like watching Noah Anderson.
He's nice.
Got a little bit of headless chook about him.
I like
too.
Mac Andrew as well.
A little bit.
When he's up and about.
When he's up and about, but I'm not sitting there going,
That
"Oh,
little Roses. You like him?
I'm not turning it on to watch Roses. Did he get a week for that elbow?
It's not
seen
out
it.
yet.
Not out.
Bodie
Can I
Ulam.
ask, is it the ground?
What, the fact that no one's there?
Yeah, because I struggle with that. When I watch Gold Coast play there and I play even
And
GWS.
and the bloody trumpet.
yeah, the
Whatever
whole
they do.
thing just feels pre-seasony to me.
I agree with that.
And I
It
don't
does
want to
have a bit of
offend.
NAB Cup vibes.
I don't want to offend them, but if Gold
Well,
Coast,
the only time it's been sold out was probably when Collingwood would go up there.
if
Oh,
you took them, the Gold Coast team, the whole squad, the coach, everything, and you just put them in Carlton's jumpers and played them at the MCG and Marvel, whatever, I reckon you'd have a very different opinion.
no.
I think it is all of the stuff that goes with it. It's the ground, it's the jumper, it's the
vibe.
song, it's the trumpet.
New jumper. Do we still on
It's
track for
the
new jumpers
vibe.
next
They have
year?
not won a
This-
game on the road.
this
That's
is
not
a man-
vibe. That's not vibe. That's fact.
This is
There's a reason my name's on the
Hey,
wall there.
This
Yeah.
is a man. This is a man who lives
foundation.
in the vibe.
Foundation
He's a
member.
foundation member. If you're listening, Gold Coast.
Have a look at him laughing at the end there. I
Well,
should
aren't
punch
they-
him sometimes.
But aren't they doing this? Aren't they actually reassessing their brand?
Yeah, that's
Mate.
what Mitch Cleary broke the news, and we know he's a very good newsbreaker.
Very good. You need to get up there and get involved in that.
Mate, I'm ready.
Can you imagine if the
Give me a buzz.
CEOs are in town and they pan and Nick walks in with his jacket and tie on?
That stupid hat.
It's stupid.
I'm
That.
going to pitch. I'm very good at slide decks these days now that I've worked out in advertising.
Right.
Who are we? Me?
Yeah, last team. Who you got?
My last team is St Kilda. So
Bullet-
this
just
is
bullet
again
it.
like,
Just-
should
you've
I
got
just
a-
bullet
bullets
it?
up the sleeve.
Well, it's kind of like, the stinker meter just topped out.
What's happening with Brad Crouch? Is he dead?
I heard someone. Yeah, well, he's not dead. He hurt himself again. I wonder if he played on the
He was a
weekend.
centre
but-
back.
He was dropped.
He,
So who's got A-grade potential in that squad?
Nah, just bullet it.
Wang
None of them
Miller?
do.
Oh, I've got
It's-
bullet it.
bullet it.
The poo,
honestly.
definitely the poo.
I like the Poe. Philip
The
Poe.
poo?
It's Poe.
Yeah, I know, but
No, we call him the poo though.
Okay. You can call him whatever you
Oh,
like.
bullet. Let's
But
bullet.
it's nice to see him playing well. It is.
Yeah. How's that goal? Oh, very
Yeah.
nice.
No, he's got it.
We like it.
It's amazing to think he hasn't been in that team.
Oh, the Sandringham Dragon, the Zebras. Sorry.
Yeah.
Seb Ross played in the twos on the weekends. No Crouch. Nothing. Hey, I've got a team left. Did you want me to go with it? Because I got skipped.
Did you?
Yeah.
What?
What's
What do you
happening?
got?
I got GWS left.
How did that
How
happen?
do we skip GWS?
No, you two had a bit of foreplay for a while
was
back
going
and
back
forth.
and
Did we
forth, yeah.
really? Were you just going to let it go through to the keeper?
Well, I was, but I was like, I need to be honest about it.
Okay, yeah, bring it
There's one Giant supporter in the whole of WA, and it's my
We should
son.
have done it and just seen if anyone noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, did
had
we get a
strong
GWS
feedback.
supporter writing in saying, hey, you didn't talk about us?
What about, funnily enough, talking about Ted, and he's a Giant supporter. He goes, Dad, do you know my 3 teams? I said, I do, mate. The Giants.
Yep.
Which he loves Toby.
Yeah.
And then Hawthorn.
Yep.
And West Coast.
Yep.
So they're the 3 that he likes. Said, mate, the Hawks are playing the Dockers today. And it was on Saturday. He goes, oh, great. Go Dockers. I said, mate, they're not one of your 3. He goes, yeah, but Nana goes for them. I was like, that's not how it works, mate. It's
Yeah.
war. We tell Nan where to go on game day. Like, wake up, it's game day. Get up, let's go. No, just quickly, the Giants. It was a good win by them. Lockie Ash, thank you. Just quickly, they're sitting 7th, so they're back in the 8. Canelio got subbed off.
They're back.
Just quickly go through their games. If you want a window of teams that are playing in that, like the finals race, the Giants have the lot.
Oh, really?
Here we go.
Really?
Gold Coast.
Virtual elimination final.
Yeah, Gold Coast. Melbourne.
Virtual elimination.
Hawks.
Virtual.
Brisbane, who have skipped to
Yeah, but they're still in the mix.
Freo.
Virtual.
Yeah.
Bulldogs.
Jesus.
Mate, they've got
They got the
they've
whole
got 8
cluster.
pointers
How
coming out
good.
their ass.
I was thinking about this morning because it does feel like we go, this team's out of the mix. This team's back in the mix. It's because the ladder's so tight.
Yeah,
everybody's
Every
in the
win,
mix.
like it feels it's worth 10
What's
points.
happening with bloated testicle?
Who?
Sammy Taylor.
Oh,
Oh, he's got. Yeah, he was training, wasn't he?
Is he? Yeah, they need him back.
He's not far
What
off.
about Jack Buckley putting the request to go to
Go
the
watch his
Olympics?
missus.
is that right?
Yeah, she's a hurdler. Is it a hurdler?
Hurdler.
What did he
Yeah,
put
he-
in a request?
Well, he said he
Does he just send an email like a leave request?
I
Like
think
the
he said he
rest of us
brought it up. He brought it up with Kingsley, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Yeah,
As
the
a
response
joke?
I got was pretty like I was testing the waters, and it was pretty
I
clear
was like,
pretty
mate,
quickly."
the fullback's got a ruptured testy,
Yeah.
and you want to go watch the hurdles.
Is she- hold on. Is she a medal chance?
Australian athletics, I don't think so.
We don't usually.
I
do
think we're
too
doing
well.
all right in athletics
Well,
at the moment.
I was-
Nina Kennedy, who's that? She's broke the
2K,
2000. Yeah.
I looked at the time.
Jess
So
Hull.
she ran. I compared it to the draft camp.
yeah.
2Kers.
Yeah.
And she was 15 seconds quicker than the fastest
Jesus.
draft camp.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
Has he? We've also. I will probably get a gold in the hurdles, but he's French. That's Sasha Zoya, who grew up in Perth. But his mum's French, and so he wanted to
Right.
represent France.
I
at the
still
Paris
remember the
Olympics.
day, the great day, 2000 Olympics. I'm there, 12-year-old, not a hair on it, by myself. Jane Saville
Oh, yeah.
in the walk.
Yeah.
I'm up there clapping and cheering.
Yeah,
and she
you
got
distracted her.
And then she got red carded. Oh, I tell you what, I was shattered. Mum, I went all the way from Lakes Entrance to Sydney to go to the bloody walking. Finally, when Jane Saville's about to win gold, and she got the red card.
Was
Went to the
big-
walking. What was I doing?
It was a big sport at Lake Central.
Which event we going to, Mum?
We're going to walk.
The walking.
Oh, it would have been the event of the Olympics, nearly if old Janie
She won.
Saville.
She just got through.
I think Kathy probably still pips her.
Well,
just,
that's, Mum and them were there for that.
Second one.
Mum and them were there. I got to go to the 40.
Jeez.
40K walk.
All right. All right, this has been the Hardball Gets AFL show. Thanks for listening. Join us again tomorrow where we'll have the mailbag. We'll see you then.